Hello, it's Gail here and welcome to my channel Flicker and Scents, where I'll be sharing my journey into learning how to make candles, wax melts, home fragrances and starting a new business. I'm back today with a review of some fragrance oils that I purchased from Aussie Candle Supplies in Western Australia a couple of weeks ago. I had hoped to do a video last week, but I had some technical issues, so I apologise for the delay in getting this up. Now, these reviews are just my personal opinions and they're not sponsored in any way. We all smell things differently, so you may have a different opinion of these fragrance oils as well. And I have to say that I am not very good at picking up fragrance notes, but this is just a little bit of fun and just to see what my opinions are of the oils. Now, I've got 4 bottles that I've already opened because we couldn't wait to see what they smelled like. My children, especially my daughter, love smelling fragrance oils, so there was some that she just had to smell before I did the video. And then I've got 12 that are unopened, so we'll be able to go through those and just see what I think of the fragrance oils without having any prior knowledge of what they smell like. I don't know what fragrance notes are in any of these oils either, so we'll see what happens along the way. So I would show you the bottle, but the labels are actually getting some glare on them, so I'll just read them out. So the first one that we've got is one of the ones that I've opened, and we'll go through the 4 that I've opened before we move on to the unopened bottles. So the first one I've already opened is Vanilla Cream and Cocoa. So within this one, you can definitely smell the vanilla and the cocoa, and I also get a toasted marshmallow scent to it. My daughter doesn't like vanilla fragrances, so anything with vanilla in it she absolutely hates. I'm the opposite. I like vanilla and that caramel undertone that you can pick up in some vanilla scents. So I would be really interesting to see what this one smells like. So that's the Vanilla Cream and Cocoa, and see what the cold and hot throw is, because out of the bottle it's okay. It's a pleasant smell, but there is just this tinge of something that's not quite right, but it does still smell okay. I know that sounds like it's contradicting itself, but it'll be interesting to see what it's like in wax. So the second one that I have already opened is Blue Sage and Sea Salt, and I'm assuming that this has sort of an outdoor maybe a bit of ocean, I'm not sure, but we'll see. I'm not sure. It's sort of got a fresh smell to it. It's actually quite pleasant. I really like this smell. I don't really get outdoorsy like I would have thought from the Blue Sage, but I quite like this one, so I would really like to try this one in a candle and see what that smells like. It's sort of got a cologne undertone to it, but it is quite nice. So the third one that we've already opened is Choc Mint Slice, and from memory this smells exactly like a choc mint biscuit. It's very strong though, and sort of has an unpleasant odor in the bottle, so it's something that you would definitely need to be testing in wax to see what it smells like there. But for some reason we've gone back and we've smelled it multiple times, especially my daughter, and she was able to pick up both the chocolate and the mint notes within that fragrance oil without being told what the fragrance was beforehand. So that was really good, and she's probably got a better ability at picking up fragrance notes than what I do. So yeah, it was really interesting that she could pick up both of those underlying notes really easy. And the fourth one that I've already opened is caramel latte. So from memory, this one has a strong caramel smell, but not unpleasant. It's really, really sweet smell. I don't get any sort of latte, but I'm not a coffee drinker of any kind. So for me, picking up those sort of notes isn't something I'm going to do very easy anyway, unless it's just straight out coffee, which I'm pretty sure everybody knows what that smells like, even if you don't drink it. So I quite like this one as well. And I do find it's more of a sweet smell. Again, my daughter didn't like it. She does not like caramel smells either, which I find really strange because she's got such a really sweet tooth for all kinds of food. But when it comes to fragrance oils, anything that's sweet, she absolutely hates. So we'll move on to unopened ones now. So the first one that I've got is Cashmere Musk and Freesia. So I'm assuming that this one has a floral tone to it, but maybe it's got that outdoor musky smell. So hopefully it doesn't smell like an old smell that you can get sometimes in older homes, that musky smell with old perfume. It definitely smells perfumey, but it's not old home perfume smell that you can get. Not sure. It's not off-putting. I wouldn't say it's one of my favourite ones, but it's certainly something that I would be up there on my list of fragrances that I want to try out in either a wax melt or a candle and just see what the heat throw is like. I have some trouble at times with the heat throw and the effect that it has on me, especially lavenders. I usually can't test those out, so I have to wait until my husband's home to be able to try out lavender fragrances. But that, I don't mind it. It's quite pleasant. So that's probably another one on my list that I would be trying out. So I might put those ones aside and we can go through those at the end. So, okay. The second one that I haven't opened previously is called Coral Reef. So I'm hoping that this has an ocean sort of or fresh notes to it. It's definitely is fresh smelling. I'm not sure if there's a little bit of citrus to it as well. Again, that one's quite pleasant also. It's a more mild fragrance oil. It's not overly powering, so I'm not sure what the heat throw will be like, but it's something to test out and see and what it does and what it's capable of. I think I'll put that in my list of to tries as well. The next one that we have is Sweet Pea and Vanilla. I am hoping that this smells really nice. I struggle with finding a nice floral scent. I've got a couple that I really like, but I'm after some different ones. I just find florals can be polarizing, and you either like them or you don't like them, and most of them I haven't really liked. I find them too strong for me. I know that when you're making your candles or wax melts or any home fragrance product, that it's not about your own personal preferences, it's about what your customers are going to like. But knowing what your customers are going to like is going to be pretty hard to start with as well. So my whole idea is to pick some fragrances that I really like and start with those, and then build up to other fragrances that maybe customers prefer more and go from there. But until you try a fragrance oil in a product and see how it sells, you're not going to know whether your customers like it or not. So again, this one is sweet pea and vanilla. That smells really sweet. I don't get much of the vanilla. I definitely get, I should know what sweet peas smell like because my mum and my nan used to grow sweet peas all the time, but I never really picked up a fragrance from sweet peas. And I always get the bottle on my nose. But I quite like that. It's quite a pleasant smell. So I hope that it's not overpowering when it's in a candle, and that it's a nice subtle fragrance that when you walk into the room, it doesn't smack you in the face like lavenders do. And I did a rose one the other day, and that hit me in the face as well, and it's not sure that I'm going to be able to use that one. But this smells quite nice. It almost smells like a lolly, like nearly a red skin lolly, but not quite. So that one's going to go in the to definitely try pile. So the next one that we've got is Bahama Breeze. So this one should definitely be a fresh ocean smell. Oh, I'm not sure about that one. I'm not sure that I like this at all. I can't pick up what it's got in it. It's sort of got like a mint, but not a mint smell. It sort of reminds me, I'm really sorry, Aussie Candle Supplies, but it really reminds me of a mouthwash. So that one's going into my pile of not to try at the moment. You may pick up different notes in that to me, and you might really like it, but I'm afraid that one's not on my most nicest list. The next one is Hawaiian Breeze, so hopefully it's very different to Bahama Breeze. And I'm assuming that this is an ocean tropical maybe fragrance. I don't get any smell from that. It's very subtle. Whatever the fragrance notes are, it is really, really subtle. I'm just going to do a sniff of my arm just to see if that'll reset the senses. No, to me it's just really subtle. I can't pick up anything in that actually stands out. No. So that's going in my in the pile of fragrances that I've got that I'll end up doing in a wax melt and melting that just to see what the hot throw is. But I wouldn't be rushing out to try it in a candle straight away. So the next one that we have is Indigo Lavender. I am trying to find a lavender scent for my range when I finally launch my store, but as I said before, I have huge problems with lavender smells and burning them. I can only usually have an oil, candle or a wax melt going for 10-15 minutes at the most, and then I've actually got to stop it because it just gives me headaches and makes me feel really sick. Not relaxed like lavender's meant to, but it just has sort of the opposite effect on me. So again, this one is Indigo Lavender, and that's not overpowering with the lavender, so I'd be really interested to see how this goes and what effect it has on me. In a wax melt first, I would try it, and that usually gives me a good indication of whether it's going to cause me any issues or not. So I don't know what the indigo is referring to, what fragrance notes that correlates with, but I can't pick up anything other than it's not unpleasant for a lavender smell. So I'm going to put that in my little pile here that I've got of fragrances to try, and I really want to see, and I hope that it doesn't have an impact on me with that lavender in it. So the next one that we've got is Princess Pearl. So maybe this is a fresh ocean smell. I'm not sure. I'm not having very much luck with those ones today. And the good thing with Aussie candle supplies, the cap on the bottles is secure, so they're not going to leak before you get them. That's very sweet smell as well, and it does have sort of an underlying fragrance. When I say fragrance, I mean floral tones to it. But it's not unpleasant, and I'm finding a lot of the Aussie candle notes, unless they've got that caramel vanilla in them, or the choc mint one that we had earlier, they're very subtle. So I'm not sure how they'll go in candles at all, not the ones that we've tested so far. But I'd be interested to see what this is. This is quite pleasant smell. It's Princess Pearl. It's quite pleasant, but it is a sweet smell. Don't know that it contains any vanilla. I'd have to have a look on the website to be able to know whether it does. It's not listed on the bottle. Some fragrance oils have it listed on the bottle for you, but this one doesn't. But I like that. I like how it smells. It's be interesting to see. So it will go in the pile, and it might go towards the top to try first. And there's a couple here that I would really like to try before I try some of the others. So the next one is white driftwood and coconut. I don't mind fragrance oils that have coconut in it. I know some people don't like it, but I don't actually mind it. So I hope that this is a nice smell. This one's a bit hard to open. Sorry, the cap's a bit stuck on this one. Okay. You can smell the coconut, and there's this fresh smell to it, like you are sort of that salty ocean air, but not overpowering with the salt. Again, it's a subtle flavour. It's not like you can eat it. It's a subtle fragrance, but hopefully it does well in wax, because it's quite nice. And the coconut's not overpowering either. The coconut is just there. It's mixed in, but it's more of an underlying note rather than one of the top notes that I'm picking up. I'm picking up other things, but I can't name what they are. But I don't mind that either, so I'll put that in the pile to try. So we've got 4 more to go. The next one is blue agave and keiko. So not cocoa, keiko. So I'm not sure what this will smell like. It's got a cologne sort of tone to it. But to me, there's nothing that really stands out to say yes. But it's not offensive at the same time. So it's one of those ones that you're better off testing out in a wax melt just to see how it does in wax and what the heat throw is, what the cold throw is, and making a judgment from there. Out of the bottle, it's so hard to judge any of these fragrances as to how they'll perform once they're in a candle or a wax melt, or even whether they're appropriate for reed diffusers or room sprays, because sometimes the fragrances that you might think for a candle or a wax melt are brilliant, they don't work as a reed diffuser or a room spray. So this might go in the maybe, or down in the list of the to try, but further down in order of priority. So I've got 3 left to do today. The next one is orchid vanilla and sea salt, and I am so hoping that this smells nice. I've read so many different things about this scent that I'm hoping that it is nice. It must have vanilla in it, just with the colour of the cap, or either that or it's a very concentrated fragrance oil. I can't actually smell the vanilla. I can't smell sea salt. But I do get a floral smell. But out of all the floral ones that we've had today, they all seem to smell fairly similar to me, which might be just my nose, which it probably is. As I said at the start, I am not good at picking up fragrance notes, and that's why I usually tend to try them out in a wax melt first and see how they go. So this one I'll try as well. Okay, so we have Ancient Ocean is our next one, and hopefully there is some ocean smell to it. But what I'm picking up from the bottle, and I have it out of camera with the lid off, and I can smell a sweetness to it from the distance away from my nose that it is. And that is a very strong fragrance. So it's got a floral undertone to it. I get more floral than I get an ocean scent or that outdoor smell. It's more floral. But when I had it away from my nose, it smelled sweet, almost like a lolly type fragrance, but up close it definitely doesn't. It's something, again, like most fragrances, you have to try them out first to really know what they're going to be like. So the last one that I've got today from Aussie Candle Supplies is called Sugar and Spice. So hopefully there is some spice in it, and hopefully there's some sweetness as well. Definitely get the spice. I do not get any sweetness at all. But on this, going back for more smells, I don't get the spice as much, I get more sweetness. So that'll be really interesting to see what it does when it's in a candle or wax melt, whether you get more of that sweetness in the cold and hot throw, or whether the spice comes through, or whether it sort of interchanges as you're burning it. It reminds me of a biscuit. But I'm not sure what biscuit. Maybe a Kingston. But it's not off-putting, the smell. I can't say that it's one of my favourite that I've tested today, but it's certainly one that is worth giving a go and just seeing how it actually performs in wax. So from today, what I normally do is I like to try out the fragrance oils in wax melts, just to see what the cold throw is and then what the hot throw is in the wax warmer, and that gives me an idea of whether I actually like the fragrance or not as a hot throw. And then from there it'll go into a separate container where I put all the fragrance oils that I want to try in candles, and slowly work my way through that pile. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I have another fragrance oil review coming up most likely next week from Elux Fragrance Oils, who are based in New South Wales, and I have a few of those fragrance oils that I purchased at the same time as Aussie Candle Supplies, to be honest, and we'll see how they perform compared to Aussie Candle Supplies. I've just found that the Aussie Candle Supplies fragrance oils that I've got today are more on the subtle side, except for that choc mint slice one. That is very, very strong. And a lot of the fragrances had floral undertones to them, but whether that's the actual fragrance notes that are included or not, as I said, I'm not sure. But I'll certainly try these out, and I can come back and let you know how they go. That would take a while though for me to be able to make all the wax melts and test them all out, so I may not do that, to be honest. But I hope you've enjoyed today's video. There'll be more information in the description below, along with some links for Instagram where you can follow me there as well. And sometimes I post there more than what I do with YouTube videos, so it's worth following me on Instagram for updates, because I usually do a video on wax melts as I'm testing them out and just post it on Instagram. I'll try and do that as a YouTube short as well, and that might be the easiest way then for you to know how the fragrance oils from Aussie Candle Supplies have performed in wax. Although it's not a candle, a wax melt's the next best thing. So again, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button and subscribe and the notification button so that you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Thank you for watching.